I am.
And I am a young
Black.
A young black.
Young.
Black.
A young black.
Black equestrian.
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 Black equestrian.
Equestrian.
Black equestrian.
equestrian.
Black equestrian.
I'm a young black equestrian.
I am a young black equestrian.
Hello, and thank you for listening to another episode of Young Black Equestrians, the podcast, with your hosts, Abriana Johnson and Caitlin Gooch. On this episode, we talk with Tiffany Baker. She is a mom, a healthcare professional, and a barrel racer. In this episode, Tiffany talks to us about her experience growing up as a mixed individual in the Midwest, and getting into the barrel racing scene and raising her own string of barrel racing pro qualified horses. So stay tuned for more from Tiffany Baker. Be sure to hit her up on Instagram after this episode. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as rate and review this episode. And let us know what you think. Shoot us a message. All right, enjoy.
Got it now.
Hey, this is Abriana. Abriana, this is Tiffany.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Feel like I've been following her on Instagram forever.
I know. She was like, we're going to talk to this girl. And I was like, okay, she looks pretty dope.
I guess I try.
Well, good. So, we are young black equestrians.
Yes.
Tiffany, do you want to just kind of tell us about yourself, where you're from, what discipline you ride, the horses you have, all that?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 26 years old. I've been riding pretty much my whole life. I grew up in a very, very tiny, small, very unethnically diverse town in Northwest Iowa, which is in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is the one that got me into horses. That's something that she got from her father. Unfortunately, he passed away. But she always kept on to the love of horses. And she got to a point in her life, I think I was about 6 years old, and we got our first pony. And from then on, it was, all right, this is what I want to do. This is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up showing in 4-H. I was the only girl like myself around. So growing up, was a little tough. I was very unique. I didn't think there would be anybody else out there like me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I first started getting into barrel racing. That's the discipline I ride. I ride Western.
Mm-hmm.
When I was about 12 years old. I saw a rodeo on TV, and I saw pretty girls and fast horses. I was like, that was it for me. I always wanted to be that girl. I did show horses for a while. I did Western Pleasure, and I did English here and there, but barrel racing's always been my love.
Mm-hmm.
The horse that I have now is a 2015 Bay quarter horse gelding, and he's bred real well, and I could talk about his bloodlines for days, but just starting to get into the futurities this year, and hopefully kind of inch my way up into the WPRA. So ultimate goal in life, be the first African American girl to get to the NFR. There's not been one, and I want to be that girl.
Hey.
So
at least
Good
you
luck.
know. Yeah.
for
You got
sure.
your eye on the prize. I'm sure you will get there for sure.
I don't think so. But it costs money, and that's not a whole lot that I had growing up. So I've always kept myself driven because of horses. It's the one thing in my life that has always been my steady. That's always been my love and my passion, and kept me out of trouble, kept me focused, and here I am almost a lifetime later and still rocking it.
Yeah, living the dream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what challenges, have you faced? I know you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but just growing up as a minority in the horse industry, what challenges did you face?
Well, I guess the tough part was, kind of right around the time I was born and growing up, that was a very transitional period where in the Midwest, you had a lot of people from the West Coast migrating in, factories, that kind of thing. And my parents actually met in the military. My mother's Caucasian and my dad's African American. So, um, that stigma of being a mixed kid was really tough. People did not understand it. It was not something that you saw in the Midwest, but that negativity, anything pertaining to that and being a minority and being so unique, I just use that as one more extra push, one more extra reason to keep going, to prove myself and really do the hard work and get myself to a point where I was decently respected and I was doing really good and winning a few things here and there and just following the dream. I guess every little piece, every little thing that fell into place, even the negativity and that I got told a lot, black girls don't ride horses. What are you doing? And the crazy part was, and it wasn't just from the Caucasian side. I got it from both ends. My grandma was like, "Oh, honey, no, no, we don't do that. That doesn't work." But I had really good support. My mom is my rock, and I guess if you could say, she wanted to live vicariously through me, and it is also her number one goal in life for me to be the first Black girl to get to the NFR. So she's always been there right along with me. But,
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I completely understand. When I ask that question, I feel like a lot of times people are like expecting the answer like, "Oh, all these white people said that I couldn't do it," when it's really, like you said, the criticism comes from both sides.
yeah, it's not just, people think it's just one-sided, but it truly is both sides. And I think the thing that really helped me was I had very few people that believed in me from the horse world. And they helped me anytime they could with whatever. I soaked up knowledge from everywhere. Books. I would watch RFD TV, which is like a rural network, and they had horse stuff. And I just, every little bit, it didn't matter what discipline I was gaining, what I could, I was like a sponge. Every little bit, including the negativity, including the criticism, just helped me to drive forward and just, my dream.
Yeah.
How passionate you are about this.
I know, it's exciting. And
Yes.
and it blows my mind how people can even if they do have a criticism, even if people think like, "Oh no, she ain't gonna do it." If you see somebody so obviously passionate about something, how can you even share like your criticism in that way? It's kind of mind-boggling. Like, that I'm so passionate about this. How do you call yourself my friend or my family or whatever, and you're saying, "Girl, you sure?" Like,
Yeah, you shouldn't
nobody's
be.
ever done that before. Okay, like,
Right. Like, why not support me and being the first to do it?
exactly.
Let me be. Let me strive. Let me flower into what I feel that is my calling. Everybody's is different, but mine just happens to be them ponies.
Yeah.
One phase I didn't grow out of, and and I guess the cool thing growing up and becoming an adult and just watching the world in itself develop and become more, I don't want to say tolerant, but just inviting, is that I have got to see and meet amazing people. You know, here I'm on a podcast. Like, that is so awesome. There's other people like me. And I gotta say, you know, via the way the world is, you know, kind of blossomed, it's not the best, but you know, I take it in every little bit of inspiration. I think if we can just all come together and feed off of each other, you know,
Yeah,
the sky's the limit.
that is for sure.
Absolutely.
That is for sure.
Did you take barrel lessons with an instructor, or you kind of just got on and just went out there and did it? How'd you go about that?
I am pretty well self-taught. My mom got a prescription or a subscription to like Horse and Rider and the Western Horseman and Horse Illustrated. And every time I saw like a barrel racing article, I would take that magazine out to the barn and I would try to look at the pictures and reread and re-reference and try to do it. And when I started getting into actually barrel racing, into the jackpots and the rodeos, I wouldn't talk to anybody. Nobody would talk to me. Starting out, I just watched. I watched every single person, what they were doing, what it made their horse do. And from then on, you know, I just kind of developed into my own, and I've been through quite a few horses, but it's always been my passion to be able to, you know, make my own, to be able to take a horse from unbroken to pro rodeo. And I've gotten a lot of opportunities to do so. And a lot of people have sent me their horses for such purposes. And, you know, it's really nice to be able to be kind of self-taught and develop on your own as opposed to being somebody else's rider. I guess it's just kind of the way I developed. And, you know, growing up broke, you do not have money for lessons, kid. Like, we're just getting on that horse for the next 6 hours, and that's figure it out.
Yeah, I know that.
I understand. Make a way the best way you can.
Yeah, for sure. You know, use every little bit, you know, even if it's you don't have an arena and you have one barrel and you got a gravel road, you better be putting that barrel out there and working it. You can do something.
Yeah.
There's several times that I have broken horses. I didn't even have a round pen, didn't even have an arena. All I had was a yard, and I made it work. And keep moving forward, every little bit, every little step.
Yeah, and that teaches you a lot also, you know, when
and
other people have all of these gadgets and things and different devices and like, oh, let's just tinker with this, when, you know, you have to start from the ground up. That makes better horsemen in the long run, and horsemen and women.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, that bond with your horse. You know, if you raise them up and you're teaching them how you ride, man, that you can darn well blind that horse and it'll still do what you're asking. So I think bonding with your horses as opposed to sending them off and, you know, trying to fix problems with gadgets and such, you know, you have to do it. You've got to get out there and do the work and spend the time, you know, wet saddle pads, you know, wet t-shirts, and you just go out there from, you know, sun up to sundown.
Yeah, make it happen.
For sure.
So are horses your full-time job as well, or do you do something else?
I am actually a certified medication aide and a certified nursing aide, and I do that overnights. And then, you know, during the day I kind of do my horse stuff and don't get a whole lot of sleep. But
I was about to say, okay, all night and then all day, like, where's the sleeping happen?
You know, naps in where you can and things. And so I got into the nursing not long after high school, but I'm kind of burnt out on it, so I'm going to be going to school this fall for radiology, kind of stick with the healthcare. And you know, gotta have a good job to support them ponies.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, and that little one that you got.
Yes, I'm a mama. I am a mama. And, my little guy, he's 19 months old.
Mm-hmm.
He, horses, he likes them already. He's going to be a little, I hope. So my little hope. Yeah,
Good.
he really loves animals and stuff. And, a lot of what I talked about before about inspiring each other and stuff, that so hits home for me with my son because, he has to be able to see that no matter what, you can get to your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it if you just put the time in and do the effort and believe in yourself. You can make anything happen. And so that's kind of how I live my life, and my hopes with going to school, and just be the best I can possibly be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wish you luck with all that, because I'm about to finish school and I'm like, I swear to God, if I tell somebody I'm going back to school, tell them to smack me, because
Yeah.
done it. I've been in here too long. Who let me do this?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be about ready when I get pretty close to graduating, because I don't like homework. Oh my goodness. So that's going to be a challenge. I'm going to have to hunker down.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you on that one anyway. So, well, you answered most of my questions already.
Well, what's your well, we know you want to be the first African American woman in the oh my goodness, brain fart.
In the park?
In the park.
Yeah.
So like, what are your entire vision? I know you're gonna complete school, you're gonna strive for that, but what's your vision for the future?
So my end goal is to buy my own acreage, because I board my horse now, and raise 2 or 3 foals that are of high, very blue blood racing, quarter horse racing and barrel racing bloodlines, and to, bring them up through the system, get them when they're 3-year-olds and they're juveniles, hit them 4 or 5-year-old into the futurities, and, then on there's derbies, and then the maturities, and hopefully pro rodeos. But my goal is to stick with the breeding of very high select lines, and make my own pro rodeo horses. That's the end goal, and hopefully save up to make it to the NFR.
Yeah. What's the cost? I mean, I'm sure you know about how much it costs, but what kind of numbers are people looking at if they want to be involved in like the pro rodeo circuit? Like entry fees, I mean, hauling and stuff. We know that that's going to cost, but how much does it generally cost to enter something like that?
So there's quite a few ways that you can do barrel racing and win some money. And the 2 ways are if you were to enter in a rodeo or a jackpot barrel race. Jackpot barrel races are really nice because they are divisional. Mm-hmm. So they set up the time brackets. Usually the 1D will be the 5 fastest of the day. And then they'll cut that break into the next second, which would be the 2D. And then the 3D would be the next half a second. The 2D will be the half a second, the quarter of a second. The 3D would be the half a second, and then the 4D would be a full second off the fast 5, the 5 fastest times in the 1D.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so the entry fees with that, depending on if there's added money or not, are anywhere from $20 on up to $150, depending on if you're going to like a local jackpot barrel race, or you're going to a barrel bash, or futurities are more expensive as well. So they'll be in the $50 to $75 range, but it's the most cost effective way to barrel race. They pay out really good. It's all divisional. you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to get in your bracket, which is nice. The second way is to rodeo. They usually pay out, depending on added money and things, between first and fifth, or if it's a very large rodeo, first and seventh.
Mm-hmm.
And the entry fees for them are usually in between $60 to like $400, depending on the size of the rodeo, and the added money. It's pretty pricey, that rodeo, and
yeah, I can only imagine.
I was told once that about the average cost to make it to the NFR, and this is if you're in the top 15 in the nation, or in Canada, they also allow Canadians. It's about $30,000 to get to the NFR. But if you do win the average in the NFR, you know you're walking home with darn near $500,000. So, I mean, the royalties are nice, but you got to be winning, you know, and everybody's got a losing streak. Everybody's got a losing streak. It's an uphill roller coaster with the rodeo. And so.
Wow. Well, you know what? You're gonna be taking a lot of x-rays.
Oh, yeah. A lot. Oh, yeah.
I feel you on that for sure. That's hilarious. I was about to ask something. So like maintenance, because I feel like what happens with barrel racers is either, I feel like they go out two ways. Either person gets hurt or like the horse gets hurt somehow. So how do you maintain your horse as far, you know, working with barrels and making sure that they are, you know, safe or feeling good after you're done?
Yeah. Well, crazy thing about my gelding is he is half blind. He is blind in his left eye. And so with a horse like that, the challenges are a little bit more extensive. He is very reactionary and very nervous. So I have to have him on more or less a calming supplement, but it treats more for the anxiety part of him, just to keep his mind in the game and focused, because I find that people will go out and run their horses and they won't do anything else but run. And then they just get strung out and they can't focus. They're dancing at the gate. They're running. They're taking out people. You know, it's a rough deal. So that's why I think there's nothing wrong with having a horse like that that's a little bit more reactionary on a calming supplement. I also try to give my horse just like just a multivitamin, pretty much. Just pretty much their vitamins and their minerals. I also offer like a lick tub, would be like a protein tub for extra protein, and then a salt lick. As far as graining them, you know, during the summer months and the spring months, I try to get on them 3 times a week. You know, I work full time too, so that's
it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's always been very important to me, even for people too. For I need to be in shape and my horse needs to be in shape. And I find if you don't go long periods without working them, even if it's just taking them down the road and long trotting for half a mile or a mile, you got to do something with them. They can't get out of shape. I think they're more apt to hurt themselves, be a little bit more trippy, not have that extra edge, that extra focus, if they're not in shape.
Yeah.
I always use leg boots. It's a big thing to me. It doesn't matter if you're going down the road, trail riding, working in the arena, sprinting, you got to have boots on them. Some horses, especially in barrel racing, they will clip their front hooves with their back hooves, because when they turn, they've got to bring their butt down and bring them forward. And I see it's kind of a pet peeve of mine when I don't see people with bell boots. That is such a silly thing that could end up being a very major injury to your horse and lame them.
Yeah.
For a cheap, $30 boot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about the rodeos versus the barrel races is the barrel races, the ground is way better. They drag after every 5 runs. That arena is nice, flat, and clean. Rodeos, you just go out there. I mean, you hope for the best and hope it's good ground, but you can't guarantee that it is.
Yeah.
You're throwing your horse out there to pretty much fend for himself. There's not a whole lot you can do about rough rodeo ground, but I try to go barefoot with my horse if he doesn't absolutely need shoes or he's not running in really hard ground. I just leave him off, make sure he's well kept, shaped real good. I try to get my horses vet checked once a year just to make sure everything's on the up and up. Make sure I get my Coggins pulled, blood tests. Just make sure that they're healthy, just like you would, yourself.
Yeah. Annuals. Yeah.
And I kind of go a little bougie with the treatment. My horse gets chiropracted and acupunctured and massaged and
Oh my gosh. You've literally gone through this entire maintenance protocol and leave the chiropractor and the acupuncturist till the end.
yeah. Oh, that's the good part though. Oh, that's where they get you. The feed. They think feed's expensive, but no, it's the maintenance. It's the getting them feeling good. I don't even see a chiropractor, so he's the very best.
I just started, end of last year, just started going to see the chiropractor, and I'm just like, look, this better work, because if this doesn't work, like, I gotta put more money into the horse because the horse is broken. I'm trying to work on me.
Yeah,
But
I also am a firm believer of, if you're gonna go out there and ask your horse to do all this and be in shape, you better darn well be in shape yourself. So fitness and doing yoga and meditation and stuff just for mental clarity is super, super important to me as a rider. I think you've got your best chance of, I guess, being a better rider and giving your horse the best shot if you're in shape.
Right. I completely agree. There's nothing that you should ask of your horse that you can't, support them.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, and it takes to really get to the top, you have got to put yourself in the right position in the saddle, and that takes a little bit of muscle every, here and there. So I will try to keep maintenance on him. I definitely keep better maintenance on him than I do myself, but I still try to eat very healthy and keep in shape.
Yeah,
I can also look good riding out there too. So
yeah, it's hard though. It's hard. I mean, I know a lot of people, especially once you get to the point where you have like more than one horse, people are like, oh my gosh, it must be so easy. And it's like, I literally have worked so hard to just make it look easy. Like, it's not actually easy in real life.
Right.
yeah, no,
But you have to do what works for you and for your herd and for your pocket. Like, it is what it is. You just got to do what works best for you. So.
Sure. And it takes an army. I don't lean on a whole lot of people, but the people that I do lean on, I get a lot of help. I have a really good boarder that helps me just make sure that he's in the right place, that he's in a safe zone, he's comfortable. And I've got a really great hauling partner, and we just kind of vibe off of each other and help each other with each other's horses. And, it takes people to help you as well. So if I can be in the best state of my health, then I'm going to be able to really help other people as well. Keep my focus, keep the that one goal just right in the crosshairs.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
I totally admire that, because I don't think, well, I don't know how many, but from my perspective and the people that I run into, I don't think everybody takes their own health into consideration. You know, you're asking your horse to do a lot to carry you, of all things. And then in some instances, people introduce their horses to new things, and it's like, well, is your horse fit for that? Are you fit for that?
Right.
You know, like, make it match.
For sure. Yeah. There has to be a balance, you know, and if I'm healthy and feeling good, that's all going to trickle down to that saddle and through the saddle pad, right down his back, through his spine, up to his brain. You know, I got to make sure that I'm in the best place possible for him, to give him the best shot at doing what he's supposed to do, and hopefully that's winning.
Yeah.
I was gonna say winning. Gotta get that money. Get your money back.
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't gone rich with the horses yet, but you know, hopefully someday I keep plugging away.
Yeah. When you do,
If it
call
happens.
us. Call us.
We're gonna be like, we interviewed her first.
Right. Started from the bottom, and now we're all here. We're all here together.
Yeah, I definitely have noticed, since I've kind of connected with other people that are like me and the Black rider community, I have felt nothing but welcome and like a family. I mean, just the people that I've talked to on Facebook and Instagram, and just sharing stories and, you know, kind of living through like a shared experience, just vibing off of each other and being happy for each other and promoting each other is just, it is simply inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have never seen a group of people come together so well as I have, being a part of, being a part of that world.
Yeah. And it's funny. I was listening to a like a little speech or whatever when I was on my way home from work, and it's a guy that we interviewed on our very first episode, my friend Ashani, and he was saying how, you know, he was saying that we don't have haters, like haters don't really exist. It's just people who wish they were, or wish they had the talent or the motivation to be where we are. Anyway, but he was just saying how, like, the Black community, how there's like a stigma, like Black people don't buy from other Black people, they don't support each other, you know, we're like crabs in a barrel, which, like, I understand, I get it, like, from a historical perspective, but like you said, this community, like the Black horse community, I feel like now that it's starting to be a little more in the media, and people are being able to be connected by social media, which was not, around before, that the sheer amount of the sense of community has gotten so much larger. Now that we can like reach out to people literally across the country. Like, we're in North Carolina and we're talking to people in California, like, on a daily basis.
Yes, it is quite incredible. And I wanted to mention, before I totally forget, the coolest thing happened to me about 2 years ago is I discovered 2 all Black rodeos that happen in Texas and a little bit in the bigger cities around the US. And it is also now one of my dream goals to go to one of these rodeos and just truly be around like-minded, that group, that home, that brother and sisterhood of just us going out there, loving it, rocking it. I mean, it is, and just seeing the videos and the interviews and talking with a few members of, that rodeo group. Wow. I have never talked to just a more inspiring, upbeat, just very vibrant group of people than the people I've met through the Cowboys of Color Rodeo. They're a great group, and I'm hoping sometime soon that I'll be able to go down to Texas and do one of those rodeos, because
Yeah.
life is cool now.
Yeah.
You'll make it there.
I
What's
know.
that?
Speak it into existence.
Yeah, I said you'll make it
Yeah,
there. Trust me.
Yes, for sure.
That's cool. So, what advice would you give the aspiring, whether it be barrels or not, just the aspiring equestrian who, still begging for a pony? What advice would you give that person?
I guess my advice would be, the simple, never give up. Be a complete sponge. Gain every bit of knowledge that you can, and then make the decision that if this is what you really want to do in any discipline, then every step and every choice and every decision you make should be in pursuit of that, and you will never fail. If you just make that decision and hunker yourself down, if you truly do that, anything in life is completely possible. Anything. Just keep on keeping on, as they say.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that is sound advice for sure.
I needed that when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like, and it took me quite a while to find people that felt that same way. I'm thinking, here I am, just out here on my own. I'm by myself in this. That's the way it has to be, but I ain't never gonna give up.
Yeah. But it's nice when you find that support. It was like I was doing it by myself, but I'm also happy you're here.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, for sure.
That's too much. All right.
Well, I'm super excited that there are Black equestrians in the world, like all three of us, who can find, we're going to run into people who just need some encouragement, who probably have never heard a positive thing about the path that they want to take in the horse industry. And they'll come across us, they'll come across this podcast, and I don't know, they'll just keep going. That's my hope.
I definitely would have been in awe if I would have heard a podcast like this growing up. Oh my goodness. I would have I scoured the internet too. Oh, I would just search engine for days. Oh man, I could not tell you how many times I have searched in Google, black cowgirls, black barrel racers. And still to this day, I'm still searching for them all.
Yeah, it's hard to find them.
It is, and it's funny. I think y'all were saying how like our community and our our Black equestrian world, it's like we are so supportive, because even on Facebook, I see the same post because I've shared it, Ariana shared it, we shared it on the podcast, and Black Reigns has shared it, and then somebody else from them have shared it. So we're seeing more of us on social media because we're being supported through those avenues, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it is definitely the coolest thing, and I'll agree. I've seen a lot of that shared information, that like shared encouragement, and just that alone is enough. Just that alone is enough to do great and amazing things.
Yeah, it's more than what we had growing up. We're all around the same age, and we're all like yearning. It wasn't that long ago that we were young. We're not that old, and there's still stuff out there that, populations that are not touched. There's still, there's no like content center for the stuff that we're interested in or the stuff we're passionate about. And like you said, well, I didn't necessarily look up Black barrel racers, but like even like horse training, natural horsemanship, just the basics, because I got my horse at 6 months old because I was like, oh yeah, this will be fine, this will be great. And then I was like,
we've all been through that.
yeah, like he's trying to kill me, what do I do? And they're like, use a carrot stick. I'm like, no, that's not working. I need somebody who looks like me to break this down and tell me, like, because this horse is, we're going to Jesus together. Like, come on.
Yes, for sure. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I've started to see a lot more Black people on the trainer side or the clinician side of it too, which I'm like, yes, spread the knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. And even just, you never stop learning. You really don't. I've even just learned so much in the 2 years that I've been following so many of the Black horse trainers. And like you said, in information and in terms and in word formations that I can understand, that I get with.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, knowledge is power, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure, for sure. Well, we're not gonna take up your whole night, but just thanks again for coming on this podcast today. You want to share like your social medias so people can follow you and go to the NFR with you on social media?
I'm on Instagram. You can find me under Cowgirl Tiffany Ray spelled RIE, all one word. And that's kind of just where I like to share my experience and get little tidbits here and there, and hopefully more barrel racing videos to come soon, hopefully at the futurities.
Yeah. Well, good luck with everything. And if we can help in any way, definitely reach out and let us know. Yeah. You want us to share some posts or something, like it will be everywhere. Like we hit share a lot.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for inviting me to be on the show. This has been an amazing experience, something I could have dreamt in my dreams, but, here I am living the dream. So I wanted to thank you girls. Amazing show. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. You're keeping us all connected.
Oh, thank you
so much.
Have a good night.
Yes, have a good one, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Young Black Equestrians, the podcast. Be sure to rate and review on all podcast outlets and head over to YouTube and enjoy our visual content new for season 3. See you next week.